Do we see some, like in the beginning when this movie was being planned, I was again with the newspaper only when this was being planned, and we had read that it could be him and Aishwarya Rai Bachchan together in the same film. Was there a plan to get him as any of the characters, and if not, then is there a plan to do a film with him sometimes?
Have you? If you've thought, tell me.
I will tell you for sure. I have to read a few. Sridevi ma'am and Rekha ma'am and him and Kamal sir and Satyaraj sir, if I'm not wrong, want. What do you think of that cast? Did you ever have any of them on your mind?
Probably it was too early a stage. We hadn't got into casting when I first thought of the film. Only person that I had in mind was Kamal sir. And maybe Rekha was an automatic choice. It was a no-brainer for Nandini.
There have been different paradigm shifts in filmmaking and in music. You guys have adapted to that. Today when I see a PS-1, the best thing about it is it caters to every age. The songs, I love the songs. How you managed to create this magic? Is there a method to this madness, sir?
I think most of the paradigm shifts were done by him. So
That's true.
You set the benchmark already, sir. I like everything. I mean, if it gets personal and then, any phobic stuff is worrying, but also sometimes, if I say something bad to somebody, actually it hurts me more than the other person because our conscience is all purity. There's purity in everybody, all of us.
There was a point when you launched him, and a lot of people actually questioned you that why did you go with a newcomer like Rahman sir when he was not AR Rahman, and you would actually, and there was a time when people actually said that his voice was computerized and it wouldn't last, and you believed in him at that point.
as a filmmaker, you're very selfish. You look at only yourself and what you need for the film. So he was right for me.
That has not changed.
As a 90s child, I'm living an emotional moment because I'm sitting with two legends who have only created magic on screen. Joining me for a conversation today on Bollywood Bubble are Mani Ratnam sir and AR Rahman sir. Thank you so much for doing this. I have to tell you that, of course, as a 90s kid, we've grown up watching your films, listening to your music, and I think I'm 30 years old now and I'm still doing the same thing. So some things don't change. Do you feel that in the 30 years that I'm talking about, from the time you have debuted, there have been different paradigm shifts in filmmaking and in music. You guys have adapted to that. Today when I see a PS-1, the best thing about it is it caters to every age. The songs, I love the songs. I love the BGM. I don't know how you managed to create this magic. Is there a method to this madness, sir?
I think most of the paradigm shifts were done by him. So
That's true.
You set the benchmark already, sir.
That's true. Both of you together, I think it's a magical duo.
No, I think it's. I think what amazes me is that Rahman's search for that step more, for something newer, something. It would have been easy for him for PS-1 to do it effortlessly. It would have been very easy for him. But he really took all the efforts to find something different, something more, something away from what other films are doing. So I think that urge and that thirst and that quest really always impresses me.
So what about you? How have you managed to be relevant? Was there a constant, because we don't know what you think, how you do it. So is there a constant fight or a battle to stay relevant? Because you managed to do that wonderfully well.
Relevance actually comes only when you are a learner. Yeah. You learn from new things, old things. You also unlearn. Don't have things which are, this is mine, this is my style, so throw it away. Your personality will always be there because you're subliminally, when you're working, it's there. And sometimes, it's very hard to leave something which you love and move on. And if I don't move on, I'll sound the same. And you start, so I don't listen to my songs at all, except when I do shows.
Oh, really? You don't?
If I listen to them, I'll do the same thing again. Oh, that's very good, I should do it again. So that's not a cool thing. And people also, I think, are expecting something interesting. They're expecting a surprise. I'm the people, actually. Because I always feel like, if I'm the listener, would I listen to this?
Yeah,
if I'm the listener, would I buy it? If I'm the listener, would I download it? No. So what's missing? This. And then you find what this is.
I want to tell you, I have read an interview of yours which came out in the early 90s, if I'm not wrong, where you have spoken about the kind of perceptions and judgments that you've battled as a filmmaker. Firstly, there was a point of time when people felt that your films are not so conventionally commercial, but they used to work. So they used to think that what is this and how is this happening? Today we are at a stage where films like these are the go-to films. Like you know, एक time पे होता था where there was like a parallel cinema and commercial cinema. I don't think that bridge has been gapped. You know, do you see that change, sir? Do you see the change in people's perception, and how did you deal with it back then?
No, I think the change is not only here. I think the change is world over.
Yeah.
There are still, certain films which are, very indie films and very experimental. But by and large, it's kind of, crossed over quite a bit. And how did I see? I was always clear that I wanted to do mainstream films. I was trying to make films which will reach the people. Only I thought that it is not necessary to give up logic, give up sensibility to reach the people.
True.
You can be both and still reach the people. And that has been the attempt that I've tried.
There was a point when you launched him, and a lot of people actually questioned you that why did you go with a newcomer like Rahman sir when he was not AR Rahman, and you would actually, and there was a time when people actually said that his voice was computerized and it wouldn't last, and you believed in him at that point. I'll come to you on that, but how did you do that? Like, was there a process which made you feel like, no, this guy is gonna be the guy who is gonna revolutionize Indian music?
No, I was not thinking that far. I didn't know that he will do that. All I felt was that what I heard when I went to his studio and what he played was magical. And that was right for me. And that's all I was interested in. As a filmmaker, you're very selfish. You look at only yourself and what you need for the film. So he was right for me.
That has not changed. You play him anything, what is it in for me? My movie. So.
Is he difficult to please?
Not at all.
No. I think you don't even give him stuff which we know that he won't like. So you only try, and sometimes, I give him everything. So he makes a choice. And he has this, he doesn't like to do the conventional things.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's like Mickey Mousing, or somebody's angry or put angry music there. Somebody is, funny and then put funny music there. Just Mickey Mousing what's on screen. So what I like about him is like he wants the music to be another character. And with that character, change the whole. For instance, Roja, right?
Yeah.
When Arvind Swamy is standing there, we had this ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, as though his like mind is boiling with patriotism and he's going to do this stuff. So that all that stuff was his ideas actually. Can you put this and see how it works? And then, oh my God.
And then there's magic.
Another crazy thing he did was I'd done a very soft lullaby. That was one of my favorite melodies that time. And then I had done a commercial which goes like something. So I played him the commercial. He said, can you mix these two? I said, oh no, don't do that. It took me like 3 years to understand that it was a genius idea. And he could see that straight away.
True.
For me as a musician, we have certain love for certain thing, and that actually is a good and a bad thing. It helps you to go deeper, but then it makes you not progress. Think about, which now my thing, although on Instagram, the reelers are doing amazingly well.
Yeah.
The mashup thing.
Yeah.
It was very
All your
difficult.
songs are getting like, there are instrumental versions, it's going crazy, your movies. When you go on trending on Instagram, you will find at least 2-3 songs of yours at that moment. And the trending songs keep changing like every 10 days. So that's happening. But were you aware of the noises when you debuted and he backed you? There were a lot of people who were trying to pull you down. Were you aware of the noises?
The noise was like, even still it's happening. He's over 6 months, 2 years, done, dusted. And then it actually gives you a lot of energy. Okay, that's great. So I can start fresh now. Because Roja was my initialized button.
Yeah.
Because before that, I never produced music like that. It was just an inspiration which came at that time. So even when I'm stuck, and it came that time, it'll come now. And I have to wither around it, put everything to the past, and start fresh, think fresh, and think as a new person. So it's a great thought process, I feel like, which helped me to.
PS-1 is also about a lot of deception, the politics, the warfare. In every field in our life, there is all of it. We have to go through all of it. When you went through all of it, has there ever been moments where you've been so dejected and down with whatever has been said about you, whatever has been written about you? Has that ever gotten to you as a human being? Do you remember anything?
See, there is always two sides of it. There are some things which are written about you. And there's some things which are written about you in a very, you know,
Condescending.
very
Nasty.
fanciful way also.
Oh.
So best is to ignore both sides of it, you know.
Oh, so you don't read the good and the bad.
And the bad. You try to do your best, and you know where you stand, and you know there's a lot more to go. You know that the world standard is far above, so you want to reach somewhere, at least take 2 steps forward. That drives you, you know. So there will be good and bad that will be spoken at any time. So if you can learn something from it, if somebody is saying, somebody is being critical, if it, you know, strikes a chord with what you also felt and have not faced, then you take from it. If not, ignore it. If it's going to be useful to me, yeah, I'll take it.
Sir, what about you?
I like everything. I mean, if it gets personal and then, you know, any phobic stuff is worrying, but also sometimes, you know, if I say something bad to somebody, actually it hurts me more than the other person. Because our consciences are all purity. There's purity in everybody, all
Yeah.
of us. When you do something which is unjust, when you say something which is harsh or hateful, that person doesn't suffer, you suffer.
That's true.
And so that punishment God is giving already to people. So I think hate is something which is like an acid in your heart. If you keep it too long, it's going to melt your heart or dissolve. You're going to be dead, and your empathy and consciousness will go off. So I personally feel like I don't have space for that, and have so much of things to do in life that I can't contain it. Even if I have it, if somebody says that, oh, this singer said this about you, I said, please call that singer, let him give us. I said, no, you can't. He did this. No, it's fine. Because I keep my ego as a separate entity and destroy it constantly, try to destroy it.
Sweet. Lovely way to lead life. But living with this dream of a film for so long, it's almost how many years? 30 years?
Yeah.
Was it difficult? How could you contain that within you?
No, it's not that I was living, it was there, I was holding on to it all the time. Any film that you do consumes you totally. This is something, when I first read this book, I looked at it as a big screen experience, as a reader.
Yeah.
I felt, and I always felt it had all the elements to make a great cinema. For the spectacle, for the adventure, for the characters, everything. It had everything in it. So it was always there, ready to be made. Only you had to have the ability to bring it all together, get the cast right. If it doesn't fall in place, if the cast and the project doesn't fall in place, best not to do it. So it was not a burden that I was carrying. It just has to fall in place at the right time.
I think I had to give it to Subhaskaran
Yeah.
for producing, to say okay,
Yeah.
unconditionally.
Yeah.
I think people like that, I think, encourage cinema a lot.
Absolutely. So when the trailer dropped, I'm going to do something if time permits. Have you read the comments? They're amazing. They
I'll
have
take your word.
actually- Yeah, they are actually. There's a ratio. I can't see, like, you can go scrolling down to find one bad comment. You will not find it. I'm not kidding, because I'm not sitting here and saying this to you. I was going to do a segment where I'm going to get you to react to those comments. But having said that, when you first thought of making it, what was the cast that you had in your mind?
Depends upon the time and this one. First time I thought of making it was with Kamal Haasan.
In Vijay sir. Vikram sir. In Vikram sir's role?
No, that was even before Vikram. Sir.
Oh.
When I finished Nayakan, I thought of making this film with him for his banner. So we had acquired the rights. Kamal sir has acquired the rights for this book, and we started working on it. It just didn't fall into place because it was too huge, and it didn't make sense to compromise on it. So we thought we'll leave it now and do it when the time is right. So that's how it started.
Rajini sir actually gave an entire cast that he wanted. He thought that, Sridevi ma'am and Rekha ma'am and him and Kamal sir and Satyaraj sir, if I'm not wrong, wanted. What do you think of that cast? Did you ever have any of them on your mind? Rekha ma'am, I think you did have.
Yeah. Probably it was too early a stage. We hadn't got into casting when I first thought of the film. Only person that I had in mind was Kamal sir. And maybe Rekha was an automatic choice. It was a no-brainer for Nandini. So that is all. We didn't go further on that.
But why, sir? Why would you say that she was an automatic choice?
She fitted. Sometimes you just feel that kind of a persona, somebody who's deep, who is beautiful, and who can carry both sides of it, can portray both sides very well.
And she speaks Tamil.
Yeah. Oh, that's an added thing. But I want to ask you that when you today films like I'll give you an incident. I was very young in Bombay, and I remember Bahubali was just releasing the first part, okay, and it was this space like in JW Marriott, same hotel, and they had called us for print interviews because I was writing for a newspaper. So there used to be group interviews with Rajamouli sir. First time in my life, I've got a call saying that, 4 o'clock the interview is supposed to happen, that 2 o'clock come, because people here didn't realize the magnanimity of that man till Bahubali released. There were people who cancelled on that interview. We were young people and we were a bunch of, we were supposed to be 10 people. Most of them didn't turn up. We were 4 people doing an interview with Rajamouli sir, which is honestly one of the best conversations we've had about filmmaking. That has set a benchmark. Do you see the change in treatment towards every actor? Like the whole, we talk about pan India, but I'm talking about the acceptance and the love and the respect that is given to any actor or an artist today. Do you see that change happening in the society?
So if you take a pan-India stuff, actually, Roja and Bombay and Dilse, they were the pan-Indian films for us.
Absolutely.
They're set, and people learn from each other. I think we all learn from new people, old people. When I saw Magdir, I realized what this man could do,
Yeah.
So I knew that this, and when Bahubali came, I was like, jaw dropped. I was watching it. It's Telugu cinema to, glorified beautifully with our culture.
So do you feel that there's a lot of literature and mythology and our cultural aspects which are left untapped like a film like this? It has never been made. It has, of course, had its own share of success in terms of books and comics and stuff, but it has never been made on celluloid. Isn't there a lot of stories like that? Have you thought of any other thing apart from this?
Have you? If you've thought, tell me.
I will tell you for sure. I have to read a few.
Yeah.
But I do feel that, like he said, that there are only few filmmakers who can justify the magnanimity that a film like this deserves. And genuinely, it is a success already. Like people's love and respect and adulation says it. Does that give you a sense of validation, confidence that the film is going to release and it's going to work?
No, I think it feels good that people are positive about it, and it feels good that there's always an instinct when you start a film, why you like, why you want to make it a film, and if you're able to carry that through till the end of the film, then, it's very good because you've been there as an audience and you just happen to make this film. Otherwise, it's the same, two sides. So if it worked for me, tremendously when I read the book. So if I'm able to translate that well, then I'm sure it will work for a lot of people.
For a 90s child, of course, both of your emotions, and I would have loved it if Aishwarya ma'am would have joined this conversation because it would make my life it would have been a dream. But she's one of those actors from the 90s, if you see, who has had those kind of variations. Like she's done your films. I'm a Bengali, so she's done a film called Chokher Bali, which is one of the best films ever made. Yeah, and she's done another film with him, which is Raincoat again, which is again beautiful. So apart from all the commercial action and everything that she's done, how has she evolved as a person? Because you are the one who launched her. You've seen her in her rawest avatar, and today when she's evolved into this amazing, amazing actor and artist.
I think she, I remember the first scene that she did, and she was like a professional. She would know her lines and she would do it effortlessly. She would take direction very well. So if you can talk to her and, she takes it all in and she's able to convert it into her own. So she was very good even then, in my opinion. And Rever, her first film, was kind of not an easy role because there are 2 shades of it, and she was able to do both of them, with enough conviction. So I think she always had it in her.
This also has 2 shades of her. You have presented her. You've presented her in a way which I don't think any other filmmaker ever thought. Sometimes she's such a tremendous artist. She also has agreed that sometimes the beauty takes over. But here you've presented her in a very, very grey shade, if I'm allowed to say that. Now, what made you think of her like that? Because in all your films, except Rever, she's always been this, goody two shoes.
Was she? I don't think in Guru that she was too goody. You know, I mean,
was-
there was still a strength
Yeah,
to
there
her.
was
There was an
strength, yeah, of course.
individuality. There was a personality. I think the moment you convert a female character into just a goody thing, then you lose the character. It needs to have some bite.
No, I meant strength, but I'm
Yeah.
meaning like more positive.
Yeah, positive or negative, there should be some conviction, some motivation which holds true, and yeah, and I think it's always nicer to cast somebody a little against the grain if they're used to playing one kind. If you push them into the opposite, we find something completely different, from what the audience expect and what you and I expect also.
Absolutely.
So it also finds something new inside them. So it works most of the time if you cast against the grain.
What's the most loving thing and annoying thing which you tolerate? One quality of yours about Rahman sir that you love and tolerate, one that you love and tolerate, and one about Aishwarya ma'am that you love and tolerate.
What is this?
I want to know. One quality that you really, really love.
I
and
think
admire.
with him, no, I mean, just now when he's speaking, the maturity he has, forget his music, forget everything else, the maturity he has to deal with life.
And the empathy.
Yeah, and his clarity, I think it's been there from the day one, but now it is even more evident and it comes out verbally.
PhD achieved.
So it's fascinating. It's fascinating to listen to him even now. I think it's fantastic. I think that's the best part of him.
And about Aishwarya ma'am?
I think she's a friend, and she's loving, she's caring, and a very, very, very professional actor. And she'll work hard. She'll give you, her best, and you can't expect more.
What about you, sir? One quality that you love and you tolerate about him. You have to say tolerate.
Tolerate him?
Yeah. Tolerate about him. What quality? One quality. Any quality.
That he should do more movies.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah.
agree. I
Should
agree.
do, I think in a year I should do 2 movies.
Yeah. Sir, petition. This is a
We
hashtag.
can't get enough of him, right?
And one quality that you love about him.
Everything.
Finally, sir, Big B launched the teaser of this movie. Do we see some, like in the beginning when this movie was being planned, I was again with the newspaper only when this was being planned, and we had read that it could be him and Aishwarya Rai Bachchan together in the same film. Was there a plan to get him as any of the characters, and if not, then is there a plan to do a film with him sometimes?
Yeah, I hope I'll be able to do a film with him sometime. I should have, enough meat he's done so much and he's done them so well over all these years that I should have something extra to push him, to drag him. Till then, I don't have the courage to go and tell him, please do this film.
What about PS-1? Was he there?
No, we didn't. That's what I'm saying. If I go to him, I want to have something really special. That's when I'll
I
go.
have one complaint.
Yeah, Sina.
I think he is such a world talent that he limits himself to India, I feel. I always keep pushing, like, why don't you do something there?
Why don't you? I think
Yeah,
I think we've
I've been
gone
telling
global.
him, no, I don't have the right script, and he's been telling that for 15 years.
I don't have.
That's why he's asking us, we should do a petition like this online. Ki whoever has a great script can come to Mani,
Yeah.
sir. We really, really need to appreciate and boost, because it's a part of our culture. Thank you for speaking to me. It's an honor and unpopular opinion, I must say. But I'm a person who's loved Ravan.
Okay.
I loved that movie. I think it's a beautiful film.
You'll be
I've loved
banned.
all your films. Huh?
Kidding.
But thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for doing this, and
Thank
all
you.
the best for the movie.
Thank you very much.